good evening, or maybe I should say, good night, because the sun is down, which can only mean one thing. It's time to get your nerves tingling. Tonight, we talk about Mary, a quiet ventriloquist, and her favorite doll, Billy. Is the story real or just a myth? There are fears that have been with us since childhood. The fear of the dark, and of what hides under the bed. And of course, the fear of dolls, of their still, glassy eyes that always seem to be watching you. But what if I told you that in one small town, this childhood fear became a brutal reality? That there is a place where silence isn't peace, but the only rule for survival. Tonight, I will tell you the legend of Raven's Fair, the story of the ventriloquist Mary Shaw, and of how her voice, once silenced, forever changed the fate of an entire town. Back in 1941, the Grand Theater in the town of Ravens Fair was a true gem, and its main star was Mary Shaw, a talented, mysterious woman whose mastery defied imagination. But the audience didn't just come for her, they came for Billy. Billy was her main doll, perfectly carved from wood in an elegant little suit with piercing eyes. To Mary, he wasn't just a doll. He was her partner, her voice, her very extension. On stage, they were a single entity. Their dialogues were sharp, their performances unforgettable. Mary dreamed of creating the perfect doll, and in Billy, she saw the pinnacle of her creation. But one evening, the magic was shattered. During the performance, a small child's voice called out from the audience, "You're a fraud. I can see your lips moving." For a moment, a dead silence fell over the hall. The spotlight seemed to grow colder. The boy didn't understand what he had done. He had declared that Billy was just a piece of wood. Humiliated, Mary Shaw finished the show with a face carved from stone. It was her final performance. A few weeks later, that same boy vanished without a trace. The town that had applauded Mary yesterday began to hate her today. Whispers behind her back turned into open accusations against the lonely woman. The missing boy's family, the powerful Ashen clan, did not wait for justice. One night, a group of townsfolk, led by the Ashens, broke into Mary Shaw's home. They found her in her dressing room, surrounded by her silent, wooden children. The legend says they wanted to take from her the most precious thing she had, her voice. They made her scream, and then they silenced her forever. Before her death, Mary had only one final request: to be buried with all 101 of her dolls. The town breathed a sigh of relief, naively believing the nightmare was finally over. They were wrong. It was only the beginning. Soon after the funeral, a new wave of terror swept through Raven's Fair. One by one, members of the Ashen family and those who took part in the mob began to die. The victims were found in their own homes, with expressions of silent terror on their faces. There were no signs of a struggle. There was only one common, gruesome detail. They could not speak. Their voices had been stolen, just as Mary Shaw's voice had once been stolen. Panic seized the town. They realized they hadn't killed a witch. They had created a vengeful spirit. And so, a new, terrible line appeared in the children's rhymes. Beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her and you scream, she'll rip your tongue out. This became the town's main rule, the rule of survival. Whatever you saw in the shadows, whatever silhouette flickered past, be silent. A scream became a death sentence for any resident. Years passed. Ravens Fair slowly turned into a true ghost town. Families left, unable to live in the constant, suffocating fear. The Grand Theater, once full of life, fell into decay, becoming a silent monument to the tragedy. But the legend never went away. It put down deep roots into the very soil of this cursed place. The story of Mary Shaw and her dolls is still told around campfires. They say her spirit is still there, in the old theater, along with her 101 pairs of glass eyes. They sit in their boxes, on their shelves, in the eternal darkness. They wait, waiting for someone to break the silence, waiting for a new scream. They say her most prized doll, Billy, was never found. Some believe that he holds all of Mary Shaw's rage and pain, that he is the key to everything, or the door to oblivion. The legend of Ravens Fair is more than just a ghost story. It's a reminder that some voices can never be truly silenced, that vengeance can last far longer than a human life, and that the most terrifying monsters are the ones we create ourselves. So the next time you find yourself alone in the silence, and you think you hear a creak behind you, or see a shadow move in the corner of the room, whatever you do, do not scream. Poor Mary. The story shows how terrifying a mob can be, and how their own cruelty spawned an entity that paid them back. There's no smoke without fire. Good night, my friend.